Hello dear student, welcome in our fifth lecture of this FY BSc. In the previous lecture, we have seen that the type determination for single, solid and liquid compound. Okay, now in this lecture, we are going to discuss the elemental analysis of single, solid, liquid compound. What we discuss now? Elemental analysis of single, solid, liquid compound. Elemental analysis of single, solid or liquid compound. So student, we know that the organic compound which consists of a carbon, hydrogen and oxygen as an element. That's why that compound it is called a organic compound, right? So along with that carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, along with this element, it may contain nitrogen, sulfur, halogen and phosphorus. X stands for the halogen. So organic compound may contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogen and phosphorus compound. So for this there is no special test for the determination of a oxygen. Okay, but for the detection of a nitrogen, sulfur, halogen and phosphorus, there is a one test is performed and the name of that test is the Lysine test. What is the name of that test? The name is Lysine's test. The spelling for this Lysine's is this. Or simply we call it as sodium fusion test. It is simple sodium fusion test or it is called Lysine's test. This test it is generally performed for the detection of element nitrogen, sulfur, halogen and phosphorus. Okay. So what we have to do here student, we take a small sodium fusion tube. What is this? This is a small sodium fusion tube. It is called sodium fusion tube. So in that we place a small piece of sodium. Sodium metal it is generally stored in a kerosene because it is a hygroscopic in nature. When it come in contact with the moisture, it immediately catch fire. To avoid that, we place the sodium, we store the sodium into the kerosene. So we take a piece of a sodium from that kerosene, we dry that piece and make a small piece and put that small piece into the sodium fusion tube. Okay, then we heat this tube on burner. We heat this tube on a burner. So what happened, this sodium get fused and it is converted into the silver color ball. Okay, once it convert into the silver color ball, add small quantity of a compound. Small quantity of compound we are going to add into that fused sodium. Okay, again we heat that tube up to the redness. We heat that tube up to the redness. After that we take a crucible. In that crucible we take a 10 ml distilled water. Here we use distilled water. We are not going to use a tap water because tap water may contain halogen. Chlorine is present in the tap water. That's why if we use the tap water, our halogen test is the positive test. That's why we use a distilled water for the sodium fusion test. Okay. We heat this tube up to the redness and immediately that red hot tube we are going to put into this distilled water and we immediately place a wire gauze on this crucible. Immediately we place a lid or we place a wire gauze on this crucible because it may be bump out or it may be throw outside. That's why we place the wire gauze on this crucible. Okay. In this way, we are going to break 2 or 3 tubes sodium fusion tube, we are going to break here. What happened? This red hot tube when enter into the cold water, what happened? It immediately get break. Okay, in this way we are going to break 2-3 tubes in this water. Once we break that tube, we remove the lid and heat this on the wire gauze, on the burner. Okay, and we reduce the volume of this distilled water. Initially we take 10 ml, so we are going to reduce up to the 5 ml. This process it is called, we are going to concentrate this solution. Okay, we concentrate this solution. After concentration, we filter with the normal filtration method. So this is the normal filtration method. This is the funnel. On that funnel we place a filter paper and we pour this all sodium fusion extract here, and we are getting the sodium fusion extract. Okay, in this way we are getting the sodium fusion extract, and this sodium fusion extract, it is used for the detection of a nitrogen, sulfur, halogen and phosphorus. Okay, it is clear. This is the sodium fusion test. Very simple. We take a small sodium fusion tube, in that we place a sodium metal, we heat that tube on the burner, then sodium get fused, it convert into the silver color ball, and we add a small quantity of compound in that, and we heat that compound up to the redness. Once it get red, we immediately put that red hot tube into the distilled water which is present in the crucible, and after breaking 2-3 tubes, we heat this solution on burner, and we concentrate this solution up to 5 ml, and after that we filter by the normal filtration, and we get this filtrate. It is nothing but the sodium fusion extract. Okay, this sodium fusion extract, it is used for the detection of nitrogen, sulfur, halogen and phosphorus. Okay, so we are going to discuss that test one by one. So the first we perform in a test tube, that is called test, then observation and inference. Okay, so first in a tube we take the first, it is the test for nitrogen. So we take a small quantity of sodium fusion extract. In short we call it as SFE, sodium fusion extract. We are going to take in a test tube. We add few crystals of FeSO4. What we add here? Few crystals of FeSO4 and 1 drop NaOH. What we add? 1 drop NaOH in the test tube, and boil this solution. What we do? Boil it well and cool under the tap water, running tap water, and add concentrated HCl or H2SO4 we are going to add. So once we add all these things, we do this test part. In the observation, we observe either green or blue color. If we observe green or blue color, we conclude that nitrogen is present. What we conclude? That nitrogen is present. In this way, the test for nitrogen is performed. Okay. So what exactly the reaction is happen when we perform this test, we are going to discuss now. So here we know that this sodium, it react with the carbon and nitrogen. If compound contain nitrogen, so it react and it form a NaCN. What it form? NaCN. This NaCN, it is nothing but Na plus and Cn minus. Okay. So this Na react with water, it form NaOH. What it form? NaOH. And hydrogen gas is given out. So gas, it is shown by this up-headed arrow. Okay. So there is a formation of a NaOH. We balance this reaction. It is also the reversible reaction. That's why it is shown by this two-headed arrow. Okay. Then in this reaction we add FeSO4. This FeSO4, it react with the NaOH and it form a complex that is Na2FeCl6. This is a complex. That's why it is shown in the there is no formation of the complex. It is formed in the next step. So there is a formation of a ferrous hydroxide. Okay, and Na2SO4. This ferrous hydroxide FeOH twice, it react with the NaCl. This NaCl, it form a complex that is Na2FeCl6 complex is formed plus 2 NaOH is there. So this complex is formed and this complex, it react with the Na2FeCl6 complex, it react with the Fe2SO4 twice, it form a complex that is Fe6, Fe4, FeCl6 bracket thrice, which shows blue color or Persian blue color, and this shows the nitrogen is present. Okay, this reaction is happened when we perform the test for nitrogen. Okay student, it is clear. Then we see the next reaction, that is test for sulfur. The next is the test for sulfur. So in that we take sodium fusion extract SFE. Then we add 1 drop of NaOH. 1 drop NaOH is added. Then we add 4 drops of sodium nitroprusside. Sodium nitroprusside is added. Then we observe an intense blue color. What we observe? Intense purple color. Intense purple color is observed, and we conclude that sulfur is present. What we observe? Sulfur is present. So in the test for sulfur, what we do? We take a sodium fusion extract in a test tube. We add 1 drop of NaOH and sodium nitroprussides. Very small amount of sodium nitroprussides are added. Only the 4 drops we are going to add, and we observe the intense purple color if our compound contains sulfur. When sulfur is present, then we observe the intense purple color and we conclude that sulfur is present. Okay. In this way, the test for sulfur is done. Then what the exact reaction is happened when the test for sulfur we perform? So we discuss that now. When this sodium react with the sulfur, it form Na2S. What it form? Na2S. This Na2S, it is in the ionic form. So it forms 2 Na plus and S2 minus. Okay. So this Na2S, react with the sodium nitroprusside. What is the formula for this sodium nitroprusside? Na2 Fe CN5 NO. This is the formula for sodium nitroprusside. Okay, and it form a Na4, this 2 and this 2, that is Na4 Fe as it is CN5 NOS. So this is shows a purple color, intense purple color. What it shows? Intense purple color. And we conclude that the sulfur is present. Okay, it is clear. It is very simple reaction. Only this Na2S, it react with the sodium nitroprusside. This is the formula for sodium nitroprusside, and it form a purple color complex. It form a purple color complex. That's why we conclude that the sulfur is present. Okay, it is clear. It is very simple. The next is test for halogen. Next is test for halogen. In that we perform test, observation and inference. So in that what we do, we use the distilled water for the sodium fusion extract. That's why there is no interference of the chlorine here. So what we do, we take sodium fusion extract in a test tube. Then we add concentrated HNO3, that is nitric acid we are going to add. Then boil this solution well and cool under the running tap water, and add 2-3 drop AgNO3, silver nitrate. Solution is added and shake well. If we observe the white PPT, then that white PPT, it is for the silver halides. Okay, so then we conclude that the halogens are present. Halogen is present. Okay, in this way we perform the test for halogen. What the exact reaction is happen, we are going to discuss now. It is very simple. We take sodium fusion extract, we add concentrated HNO3, boil well, cool under the running tap water, and we add 2-3 drops of silver nitrate. And if we observe the white PPT, we show that the halogen is present. So what happened here? The reaction is this sodium, it react with the halogen. Halogen X, it is stand for halogen. It form NaX, sodium halides. And after that all these reactions are reversible. So after that it is ionized into Na plus X minus. This X, it either may be chlorine, bromine or iodine. Okay, it may be chlorine, bromine or iodine. So here the first test is separation of halogen. It is done by, if we are getting the PPT, the halogens are present. These halogens may be chlorine, bromine and iodine. So how we conclude that it may be chlorine or bromine or iodine? So we take this sodium iodide, then we add excess chloride, it form NaCl, 2 NaCl, and iodine is released. So violet color fumes are observed. What we observe? If we observe the violet color fumes, we conclude that the given halogen, it is the iodine. Okay, and if our compound contain our compound contain bromine, NaBr suppose. Then we add excess of Cl2, then there is a formation of NaCl plus bromine gas is given out. It shows brown color. Which color? It shows the brown color, and we conclude that the given compound it is a bromine. Okay, and if we only get the white PPT, then we conclude that it is a chlorine is present. Okay, so if you observe the violet color fumes, the chlorine iodine is present, and if you observe the brown color fumes, then we say that the bromine is present. Okay, in this way we perform the test for the halogen. And the last, that is the test for the phosphorus. The phosphorus, it is first converted into the phosphoric acid. So test for phosphorus. Here what we are going to do, we take substance, or we take a sodium fusion extract plus Na2CO3 is added plus KNO3, potassium nitrate is added, and fuse it, heat it, and it get fused. Then few drops of concentrated HNO3 nitric acid and few drops of ammonium molybdate. What we add? Ammonium molybdate is added. Then we observe the canary yellow PPT, means light yellow color is observed. Light yellow color PPT is observed. Then we conclude that phosphorus is present. Okay, this is the test for phosphorus. So here the reaction of this phosphorus it is first converted into the phosphoric acid. The formula for the phosphoric acid is H3PO4. Phosphorus first converted into the phosphoric acid, which react with this ammonium molybdate. This phosphoric acid react with the ammonium molybdate and it form a canary yellow precipitate. So this phosphoric acid, it react with the ammonium molybdate. The formula for this ammonium molybdate is NH4 twice O4, and we add HNO3, so HNO3 is added. Then there is a formation of a NH4 thrice phosphorus is there, molybdenum 12, oxygen 40. This complex is formed. It shows the yellow PPT. Canary yellow means light color PPT is observed. Canary yellow PPT plus NH4 NO3 plus water. This reaction is happened. Phosphorus, it is first converted into phosphoric acid, and this phosphoric acid react with the ammonium molybdate and few drops of HNO3 is added and it form this yellow color precipitate, and we conclude that phosphorus is present. Okay, in this way we are going to find out the element present in the single solid and liquid compound. Okay, it is clear, it is very simple, and finally we conclude that out of these elements, which elements if we present, then we conclude that the given substance contain CHO and nitrogen, either sulfur or halogen or the phosphorus element. Okay, so with this we complete this lecture. In the next lecture we discuss the characteristics for the functional group test. Okay, thank you.